When you hear that polished, golden baritone voice on the air, you know it's got to be Gary Owens. He has done over 30,000 commercials, and he's coined the phrase, "Sock it to me, I'm laughing." Gary Owens.
That's very kind. I had never had a kind word until this afternoon. Very kind of you. Well, Jack Jones has been my pal since 1960, which is really something. And I was so impressed by his marvelous singing. That's when I was at KFWB, before KMPC, in the 2 decades over there. And it was so interesting that I said, seldom do I buy something for people that we play on the air, but I'm so taken by your wonderful voice and styling that I bought him a sweater. But he preferred a moaner or a screamer. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. So sorry, I just wanted to get a sex joke in before somebody else comes along. It's so nice of you.
We got fun.
Yes, well, we've known each other for a long, long time. Of course, Judy Garland gave Jack some of the best reviews in the world. And Wives and Lovers sounds like a smash written by the great composer Arnold Schwarzenegger's life. Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, before I met Jack, I knew his parents, his mother and his father. And of course, they were tremendous. About that time, when I first met him, was about 1960. Alan Jones and The Donkey Serenade sold 1 million copies at that time. How often do you find a father and a son both selling million-copy records? That really is something.
On the street.
On the street, yes. It was just right out here on Ventura Boulevard. And Jack has worked with so many of our friends. We've all known them: Billy May, Nelson Riddle, Marty Paich, Shorty Rogers, Jack Elliott, Ralph Carmichael, Bob Florence, Don Costa, Pete King. My God, all of you guys made such tremendous music. It really is something very, very special. Jack Jones has always been a caring friend. As a matter of fact, he does things for people that you don't even hear about. Remember Marcel Marceau, the great pantomimist? Well, when he passed away, Jack spoke at the ceremony and observed a moment of noise in his honor. I've known Jack since the very, very beginning. He's phenomenal. He's done everything. I have played every record he's ever made in Hollywood. We had a mutual pal in New York City. He's in the music business, Herbert Lenfesty. And he phoned and said, "Please give Jack my very, very best. It's so cold and so rotten back east. He's been wearing 2 sweaters and an overcoat. And it's even colder outdoors." And I said, "Well, I'll tell everybody that." It was pointed out that Judy Garland called Jack her favorite jazz singer of all time, and rightly so. Jack, and I made this up a couple of years ago, and I said it on the air at KMPC. Jack Jones can sing any kind of a love lyric and make it sound like a Hallmark card from heaven. Would that be a good description of his marvelous singing? And Jack is a pal, and I don't see him as often as I'd like, but he really is. And he just hired me to narrate his new documentary, Pit Bulls with Handguns. And that's where I have to go right after today. But Jack, we love you so much, and you are our favorite guy in the whole wide world. Jack Jones, ladies and gentlemen.
He's a TV and a radio personality. He's a singer, an actor, and he's been on Broadway. He's kept Hollywood squares on the air for over 16 years. He's the big band singer, which you see on PBS called The Big Band Years. Ladies and gentlemen, also my neighbor in Encino, Peter Marshall.
All right. This one. Have you seen Jack Jones? People said as they sat down, that sure looks like Jack Jones to me. Hey, Jack is looking fine. He is aging and engaging like some fine imported wine. Now, Jack and I, we go way back. I knew him when his hair was black. That was many marriages ago. I'm singing about Jack Jones, and I'll keep on singing till we die. Die. Little Jack Jones and I. Yeah. Enough about Jack Jones. I came here to talk about my new CD. Now, the first time I saw Jack Jones was, it was years ago. Monty Proser, who was like a surrogate father to me, he said, hey, there's this kid working over here in Beverly Hills. It's called Marshall Edson's Ye Little Club or something. And I think the year was about 1934. So anyway, I went in and I saw this young kid, and I said, oh, my God, this guy's terrific. And, well, he is. And it harks back, it harks back to all the singers I loved as a kid. People like Carmen Lombardo and Pinky Tomlin and Snooky Lanson. No. I'm just joshing, Guy. No, this is a wonderful singer. Jack is very funny to me. Not only is he a funny person, but his lifestyle is funny, and he just makes me laugh. I was doing a show on Broadway with Julie Harris about 1965. God, was I cute in 1965. Anyway, it was a musical, and it was written by Sammy Cahn and Jimmy Van Heusen. I had some wonderful songs to sing. And Jack saw the show, and he came running back afterwards. He said, my God, that was so much fun. This is what I want to do. I want to do Broadway. I said, no, you don't. He says, yes, I do. I want to do Broadway. Now, at the time, he was the hot kid. He had like 4 hit records doing, you just saw it, specials with Judy Garland and Dean Martin and Mel Torme. I said, you don't want to do this, Jack? He said, yes, I want to do. How do I go about it? I said, well, okay, here's how you go about it. You call your agent and you tell him you don't want to do nightclubs anymore or television, you want to do theater. Then you go out and do all the hinterlands. You do, Guys and Dolls and Music Man and things like that. Oh, by the way, you won't make any money. He said, I won't make any money? I said, no. But they'll hear about you, and then they'll bring you to New York, and you'll star on Broadway, where you won't make any money. And he said, hell, I don't want to do that. But he did it some years later, and he did it wonderfully well. Did a lot of musicals, and a couple of years ago, we just saw a clip of it doing Man of La Mancha. We all talk about show business and things, and invariably we talk about singers and our best singer. And it's always Jack. Jack is number 1. I'm usually 19th. But anyway, I want to talk about Eleonora. Now, Jack was a lousy bachelor. And we were worried about Jack, the girls, and they said, Eleonora would be terrific with Jack. And so they all got together, and they met, and they were dead right. They got married weeks later. So I have got this song I'm going to do, if I can remember it. I'm old, I can't retain like I used to. Let's see, what do we have here? Okay, here we go. Oh, by the way, these are my lyrics. I put them to a song. It's a standard. I don't remember who had the hit record. It could have been If Kabibble. I don't know. They fell in love right at the start. Got married weeks later. She captured his heart. She does such nice things, cooks sugar and spice things. He gives her Surus and Michigas and Surus. Would you like babies? He crooned with a smile. I'd rather have rabies or tossed in the Nile. Well, that's how it is. I know it will last. With fingers crossed, I remember his past. Now she is attractive, romantically active. He gives her Surus and Michigas and Surus. He also gives her lollipops and roses, and lollipops and roses and roses and I love you, Jack Jones. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. You know, I can already feel the excitement building for our next Hollywood Media Professional Celebrity Showcase.